I'm just streaming to show you guys what I'm planning to run this live. With Sharn, the new Inquisitor. Is it Inquisitor? Inquisitive Tree has been released, and I wanted to test it out. That's why I made this little guy. I TR'd him into a gnome. And the idea for this live is to do 12 rogue, 6 ranger and 2 fighter levels, and it's inspired on the never-ending fussilage builds. But the Inquisitive Tree has its own fussilage, which is called No Holds Barred, I think. We'll get to the tree in a minute. So far I'm level 5. Yes, I'm level 5, and the start was a bit iffy, and I think instead of point blank shot I should have get rapid reload at the start at level 1 to get some more fire rate. But now I've got some gear, some level 5 gear and a decent bow, and things die fast enough for a Reaper. Of course I don't have the improved precise shot to just kill everything, so I have to go through every single mob one by one, but so far so good. So let's have a look at my build planning. Let me get my other screen up. So I usually just tool around in a notepad file. So first I was thinking about going for RT 6 Ranger 10 Rogue to double up on the RT Fusillage and the No Holds Bars from the Inquisitive Tree. But I thought it was too expensive and it would take too long for just a TR life to wait for the 4 RT levels that will postpone all my Ranger levels and all the things that I get from that. So the idea is to go for an int build and go full int, get 17 or 15 depending on your tomes you've got in dex, so you can get your improved precise shot. Later on when you need 17 dex for that one. So the progression is 2 rogue levels to get the evasion as soon as possible, then 6 rangers for all the goodies that brings from the Deepwood Stalker tree, and of course the feats you get from the ranger, then 2 fighter for the 2 extra free feats, and the rest just rogue for sneak damage and skill points. Let's see, for the feats I just got the normal range stuff actually. It ain't that complicated. So point blank shot, which I probably should have gotten rapid reload at the start. Insightful reflex for the intelligence to reflex saves. The rapid reload for faster shooting. Imp crit range, I don't know if I'm able to get that at level 9, but we'll see. Otherwise I'll switch it for range focus or toughness. For the feats, for the fighter feats, there's 2, the precision and ranged focus. Then we get toughness, maybe something else, but we'll see when we get there. Improved precise shot, very important on a range build. Get that as soon as possible. So if I'm able to get it on, I don't think so, but if I'm able to get it on 12, I will get it on 12. So that's a little overview. Because it's an int build, you've got a lot of skill points. So let me show you in the build. And turn off the display capture. It should go right here. Yes. On the build, the skill points. So you've got a lot of skill points because the intelligence is so high. So I'm at 30 at the moment at level 5. Base 21 plus 3 thome, so it's 24. It pretty much gets you enough skill points to just max out about everything. So as you can see, everything has its extra points. You can see in the ranks here, it's all 7 and 8. it's because it's a bit lower now because I've taken ranger levels which have fewer points than the rogue levels. So in the end it will just be maxed out. So let's get back to the tree and see what my thinking was for this build. The Inquisitive Tree. Well, the Inquisitive Tree is with Sharn. If you buy the... It isn't in the standard package, but if you buy the fan package or the extended package, you'll get the Inquisitive Tree with it. It will probably be on the DDO store in September when they release the Sharn package for the DDO store for turbine points, or I guess SSG points it's called now. It's mainly focused around bows. You've got the +1 for the bows, +1 for diplomacy. The cool visual thing is that you get dual shooters. So I'll get to that when I show the character. Conjure bolts, always useful. Then you got the law on your side toggle, which gives you an extra damage upon each attack, and because you have dual bows it will double up. I think it's so that you got one weapon in your hand, it doubles up, so everything what's on that weapon doubles up too. So I will have to test some things like double shot if that works for both attacks from both bows, but we'll get to that when I get some levels. Let's see, there's more diplomacy, scroll mastery, always useful, especially when you get high UMD. Skills boosts, more attacks for light and heavy crossbows. Now, at first I was mistaken that the great crossbow was the heavy crossbow, but they are both different things. They aren't the same, and they probably won't stack. The thing that I really was excited about is the Inquisition style, and you can use it to use your bow with swashbuckle, for example. But the thing that really triggered my interest was you count light and heavy crossbows as favorite weapons, regardless of your deity. Now this works with clerics and favorite souls that have favorite weapons. Probably also the ranger favorite weapons. The thing is, I was hoping it would work with the complete deity lines for favorite weapons, so I was thinking Sylvanas. But I asked around and on the Discord, and I got confirmation that it doesn't work for the feats, it only works for the ability points. So if you got a cleric or a favorite soul tree with favorite weapon stats, that's what it's for. So that thing's out of the window. Still some nice extras for double shots and whatever. It makes the tree very versatile for multiple builds. So extra damage dice for the law on your side, which is the lawful and non-lawful extra damage. Then we've got the tier 5, and so we have the no holds barred, and that's the fussilage that we all know from the arty. If you have both in your build, you get an extra, let's see, 10 ranged power. I forgo on that on this build because I don't think the 4 levels of Artificer is worth it. If you're building an Artificer, it's probably nice to combine the two. Furthermore, there are some extra range damage, vulnerability stacks, diplomacy. So diplomacy in the tree is a very big thing. You get an extra diplomacy toggle, but if you solo, it probably won't do you any good. But in groups, it might. But if you're in a good group, somebody has intimidate, and somebody will pull aggro. So you don't really need that. For this build, I am going for the 6 rangers levels that will have the Deepwood Stalker tree, and the Deepwood Stalker tree has a few attacks that will trigger the sneak attack. So hopefully that will be enough, so I don't have to really use the diplomacy. But I will test it out. I've got enough diplomacy for days. Then we've got the Inquisitor's Path, which gets you some extra dice and extra damage, some extra speed, depending on which weapon you're using. Pretty standard stuff, actually. So what I did for this build is get the Ranger, and the Ranger levels get you some free feats. For a ranged character, the rapid shot is very important, and the precise shot, and also the many shot. The many shot gets you 120 range power, which is a nice boost if you can combine that with the endless fusillage and the haste from the fighter tree. Furthermore, I have opted to get these 6 levels right at the start of the build, so I can get the precise shot, so I will get the improved precise shot later on. So that's the Ranger. Well, the Rogue is just here for trapping and skills and sneak attack damage. I don't know how many attacks I will get a second with the double crossbow. I'm testing it out. I also have a Shuri thrower, which gets like 5 attacks on every animation, which is a lot of hits. I'm curious to see if this gets up there. But we'll probably only see that in the epic levels. I'm intending to run this build till 30. It's not a very strong character, it only has 4 past lives and a few Reaper points, so we'll see how it goes. Then the fighter will get me the 2 extra feats, and what's important is that, where is it? The fighter also gives, let me check, I think it's in the Kensei tree. The Kensei tree gives me in tier 1 3 extra action boosts, and endless fusillage is a boost, and so I think the no holds barred will also be a boost, so I'll get 3 of those extra. And next to that there is where is it? The boosts, and I can get, there should be it's in the rogue trees. The Thief Acrobat tree has a haste boost, which I intend to pick up, but I haven't really figured out my ability points distribution yet, and I'll probably rearrange them a few times during the whole leveling process. So we'll see how the build works out. As I said, it's inspired on the never-ending fusillage build. If you Google it, you will find it. Credits to those guys who figured out that build. It pretty much evolves around the endless fusillage, and once you get into the LD tree, I will just get back to my character. There we go. You see the 2 weapons. If you get into the legendary dreadnought, you get extra boosts, but also a less high cooldown, which means you can only have to get a 2-second cooldown on your fusillage. So the fusillage duration is 18 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, and the cooldown will be 20 seconds. So you only have 2 seconds of downtime on your machine gun. So I'm hoping that will double up with this build. Furthermore, I intend to figure out in this build how the mechanical tree from the rogue, will fit in this build. I'm pretty curious to see how the extra damage dice for bows and stuff like that stacks up. Of course, because it's an intelligence build, I use the Harper agents for into hits, into damage. Excuse me. And of course then know the angles. And I'm just starting up in the Inquisitor tree. So I've got my double bows, 3 bolts, as I won't be bothered to buy bolts every time. And the extra law on your side, extra damage per hit, and the extra dice for extra damage per hit. Of course, there is the sneak damage from the rogue, and hopefully I will get the Deepwood Stalker tree a bit up. I might get sniper shot and some extra sneak damage in here, and of course the extra damage die in the mechanic tree. I went for the gnome as they are intelligence focused, so I could get some intelligence from there, and also they have the light crossbow extra damage, which is nice, but I don't have any racial points on this build, so I probably won't get them. Well, that's it for now. When I hit level 10 or level 12, I will get back to you on how the build is going. Thanks for watching, guys, happy hunting, and see you in the next one. Bye!